Size hail in some areas and even flash flooding.
Plus, it's the last day of Air Quality Awareness Week, and we talk about the impacts it can have on our animals, plants, and the ecosystem.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Well, if there's one thing we can say, the air quality is certainly better than it was yesterday, right?
Oh, yes, 100%. A lot drier, too, Wes.
Yeah, a lot drier. That break in the humidity, you can really tell out there. You mentioned earlier, it's still hot,
yes,
but it's not as brutal as it was yesterday. But you're really going to love this evening as we head into the overnight hours here. I want to show you this picture. This is from Sylacauga. Kathy Patterson shared this, and making use of those eclipse glasses, if you still have those around and you look up at the sun, you'll probably be able to catch it again tomorrow. There is a giant sunspot right now about the size of 16 Earths. Yeah, can you imagine? But you've got to look there towards the base of the sun. I went out and tried to look. Some other team members saw it. I'm going to have to go check it out again. But this was from Heath Lawler, just sent in from St. Clair County out there. Some great, I don't know, I guess he still has one of those eclipse filters there on his camera, able to capture that view. But that's some interesting things happening right now in space. We have a geomagnetic storm I'm going to tell you about here coming up in a few moments. And if that will have an impact on us being able to see the northern lights. But as of right now, though, we still have lots of sunshine. We got some clouds out there. 78 degrees live look from Pinnacle Motorsports. Let's check in with some of our sites across the state. Let's head over to T-Town, where it's 81 degrees right now. The wind northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. That dew point right there around 54 feels like 81. There's that camera view there loaded up over Tuscaloosa, and starting to see those clouds thin out. But notice that wind again out of the northwest, that breeze north at 10 to 15. And then for the Anniston area, also seeing that wind out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour at 78 degrees. What an improvement right here for us in the Anniston area. But very dry conditions for tonight, and that means temperatures drop off quickly this evening compared to the past couple of nights. You'll notice here as we work through the hourly forecast, by 10 o'clock we're down in the mid 60s, probably already starting to see some upper 50s across northern areas by 10 o'clock, and then by 6 a.m. 53 degrees. I think we could see upper 40s far north early tomorrow morning. So there's going to be a chill in the air early in the day, but of course this time of the year it won't last long. Plenty of sunshine. We'll see those temperatures there rising into the upper 70s. I do think 4-hour Saturday tomorrow for this Mother's Day weekend will top out close to 79, and then for Sunday 82 degrees, and we have another dry day coming up Sunday, but we will start to see some clouds moving in by Sunday afternoon in advance of that next weather maker. But as of tonight, with the sky being mostly clear, we've been telling you about this geomagnetic storm that's being forecast. This is something that's actively monitored all the time for these geomagnetic storms. That's what drives when you see the aurora borealis and the northern lights. But tonight, on a scale of 0 to 5, we're looking at a level 4 potential geomagnetic storm, which could be the strongest in over 20 years. And that's why we're thinking tonight, you folks that don't often have a chance to see the northern lights across the North America may be able to later on. And you can see that ring of visibility does dive further south into parts of the southeast. I think the Carolinas, Tennessee will have a greater chance on the horizon of perhaps after midnight seeing the northern lights. But here's the thing, the weather's cooperating as well with it being less humid, so that should help out there later on tonight. But this is a what we call a level 4 geomagnetic storm, and typically when something like that happens, you can end up with GPS issues. You can sometimes end up with even here with some of our satellite data, sometimes we'll notice some frames that skip when we have events like that happen. Also, voltage control problems can also arise when you have these geomagnetic storms. So they do have an impact there, an electrical impact. But looks like tonight, the big story for us, though, of course, dry and cooler weather. And of course, we'll be talking more about the weekend and those rain chances coming up. But talking about those storms last night, it was a long week for us. We need this nice weekend to just relax and finally let this weather settle down. But across central Alabama last night during those storms, we had so many pictures, so many videos. Here's some that were sent in by Michael Harris in Pelham. And the lightning, it was almost continuous. And weather watcher Travis Braden in Chelsea, he shared some images of lightning as those storms departed, and I've often said if you want to see some of the most incredible lightning shows that we can have here in our area, it is when you have a departing, what we call mesoscale convective system, these clusters of storms. Every time something like this happens in the months of May and June and we see those storms depart, often you just see that lightning, it just like spider web across the sky. It's just incredible. But Travis out there able to capture some videos. Of course, you got to think lightning safety. Anytime you are filming weather, want to make sure if thunder roars, you are indoors. But some storms also brought hail to areas ranging from, get this, not just pea size, but up to baseball size. I opened my inbox last night and I saw a picture from Springville of a baseball size hailstone. I can't tell you last time I saw something like that across our area. But Gary Ernest also sharing some of those images. Katie Hicks also sharing some pictures there you can see in the Springville area. And the largest, that's where we saw that baseball size hailstone. And another picture there that was sent in from Robin Lindsay. But so many pictures. We had hundreds of photos last night sent in on the First Alert weather app. And also across parts of our area, we ended up with some flooding issues. Tania, what a night.
It most definitely was, Wes. And right now, many of you dealing with the damage from some of that huge hail. We're on your side with when you should call your insurance agent to see where you will need and when you'll need to file a claim. Our Tristan Rupert has more.
The experts tell me that if you believe you sustained damage as a result from last night's severe storm, you should either get an expert to take a look or file an insurance claim yourself. Now, your insurance carrier will then schedule an inspection and work to plot the next steps based on your policy. I spoke with Alpha Insurance Regional Vice President of Claims, David Bailey. He says they often see a spike in calls after big storms roll through, and hail like this often comes up in questions. Now, all of these are images and videos that were taken within the last 24 hours. As you can tell, there were some really large hail pieces that came down last night. As far as what you need to look for to see if your roof was damaged from hail, Bailey says there are a few things you need to look for, and you shouldn't wait to check.
Don't wait. I mean, if you feel like you have damage, if you're seeing the dents in, say, soft metal in vents or valleys, if you're seeing granule loss, then those might be indications of potential hail damage.
Lastly, Bailey stresses you need to be cautious about who you sign a contract with, whether it's for repairs or simply an assessment. Reporting in Birmingham, Tristan Rupert, WBRC, Fox 6 News, on your side.
Thanks, Tristan. It was a special day for the Brighton community, where Tristan was also at, and they broke ground on the site of their new coming storm shelter. I was glad to be a part of this occasion, but I wasn't the only one there. As I mentioned, our Tristan Rupert joined us with a deep dive on how city officials say this will benefit the community.
It's not enough words to describe it. It's an honor. It's a blessing.
Dozens of neighbors came out in support of today's groundbreaking. But they are far from the only ones excited for the project.
We're pretty proud to be associated with something that's going to protect the general community. And we can't wait to get started.
For Jefferson County Commissioner Sheila Tyson, the shelter is long overdue.
Can you imagine how many storms have hit this city and they had no shelter?
The project will cost the county approximately $350,000, but Commissioner Tyson believes it is money well spent and a project that wouldn't be possible without the county.
We have to make sure that they are safe. So we have concentrated on actually getting funding to the storm shelter, for the storm shelters for cities that don't qualify for the CDBG block grant storm shelters.
And it was awesome. Such a great event to see the community coming together. And I couldn't be more glad to have been a part of such an amazing thing that's soon to come. The county allocates $1 million from its general budget each year to the storm shelter purchases, and construction begins sometime next week. We'll let you know when it's completed. For a list of storm shelters, though, you can always find that for across Jefferson County and really Central Alabama by going to our WBRC News app. We're also getting new information about the tornadoes across North Alabama. The National Weather Service confirming 5 tornadoes touched down. An EF3 tornado touched down in the Brigadoon community in Limestone County, but up to EF3 tornadoes touched down in Henniker, which is in DeKalb County, and in Gurley, which is in Madison County. An EF0 hit the Rainbow Mountain area, that's in Madison, and an EF1 tornado hit southeast Huntsville. And across the country, Tallahassee is cleaning up today after the same storm system brought damaging wind gusts and multiple tornado warnings. There was reported one fatality after a tree fell on a woman's family's home early this morning. Officials also reporting there was severe damage to power lines following a radar-confirmed tornado. The damage to power lines is reported to have impacted 11 electrical substations. The process of getting the power back could be an ongoing issue through the weekend. Florida State University and Florida A&M also closed their college campuses in the wake of the storm. But don't go anywhere. In 30 seconds, we're wrapping up Air Quality Awareness Week, as well as taking a quick look at your upcoming forecast. We'll be right back.
Well, what a weekend for some Birmingham Stallions football. Coming up tomorrow, 3 o'clock kickoff time at Protective Stadium, 78 degrees and some perfect weather. Bring home a big win tomorrow with a mostly sunny sky. As we look at the Springville forecast for Homestead Hollow, if you've never checked this out, always a fun event. And the weather tomorrow, it won't be as humid. We'll see those afternoon highs in the 70s, but certainly some big improvements. Springville, one of those areas hard hit with that storm last night. We were certainly watching that area closely. Here's our first alert fishing forecast tomorrow. With it being so warm today, there could be a little bit of fog around the lakes and rivers tomorrow morning. So if you have a tournament early on, just be careful out there. I'm seeing peak movement tomorrow, 8:30 in the morning to 9:45, 306 to 527 on that forecast. And it looks like some dry weather tomorrow. Chance of rain comes back by Monday, and we'll show you coming up.
We sure will, Wes. And Air Quality Awareness Week comes to a close today. So we end with a focus on how air pollution can contribute to human-induced climate change. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan spoke with GASP, the Greater Birmingham Alliance, to stop pollution, to learn more about local impacts to all living creatures in central Alabama.
Air pollution is such a big problem, particularly air pollution can contribute to climate change. Can you explain to our viewers how that is?
So a lot of the industries and mobile sources of air pollution also emit what we call greenhouse gases, and greenhouse gases contribute to climate change because it contributes to the way that the atmosphere heats. So you can kind of see how a city that has a large industry with fossil fuels, how that can contribute to climate change.
So how can air pollution adversely affect certain communities within a city, like here in the Birmingham area?
Well, of course, we know that climate change does affect frontline communities, and especially low income and communities of color, which we have a lot of in Birmingham, especially in the North Birmingham area, where our industries have been heavily populated and emitting these fossil fuels and air pollution for decades. So we know that that is looked at through the concept of environmental justice, and that is one of the things that we advocate for, environmental justice at GASP.
You see this effect where a lot of low income and people of color live near industry. They are experiencing some of the public health concerns related to living near there. And you also see things like the way that their infrastructure, like in the roads and the way that flooding and resiliency to natural disaster contributes to how they are impacted by both air pollution and climate change. So environmental justice is a concept or a framework to really work to center those people and their experiences so that we can make sure that equity exists.
And you know, we're talking specifically about humans who are being potentially in underserved communities. What about animals and the ecosystem at large with air pollution? How does that affect them?
Well, just that we know that air is everywhere, air pollution is also in that air that is everywhere. And as we're breathing it in, so are the animals and the plants that are around us in our environment. One of the great things about Birmingham and Alabama as a whole is that we have a very rich biodiverse ecosystem within our state. It's one of the most biodiverse ones in the country. And so if air pollution is everywhere, then all of those species are being affected. They're breathing in and taking in this air pollution that is coming through different ways like our land, our water, our soil, and it's just being reproduced and either killing or harming all of these systems that we have in place.
And I just learned something new today. I had no idea we had one of the most diverse ecosystems. All the more reason to take care of it. So what are things we can do in the future? I know we talk a lot about almost the doom and gloom of climate change, but what are things we can do to mitigate those impacts?
So one thing we can do is GAS advocates for regulations that actually protect the environment and protect communities from air pollution. A way that we can address that on our own is to really work to advocate for more sustainable ways of producing energy, renewable sources like solar and wind. So that can help us to kind of shift the way that we use these types of materials to produce energy and emit into the atmosphere.
And if you are interested in volunteering for GAS, you can contact them on their social media platforms or join their 15th anniversary party. Ooh, that sounds fun. That's next Thursday, May 16th at Cahaba Brewing. Still ahead, we talk about the beautiful weather for your Mother's Day weekend and talk about next week's unsettled weather pattern that comes back, okay? It's going to bring us the chance for showers and even storms. But stay with us. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
What a nice Friday evening across the area. I was just noticing we're down to 64 there at Center, 68 at Coleman, 81 from Tuscaloosa and back to Centerville, but Birmingham's dropped to 77. But we've got this north wind, and that breeze is going to stick around right on through the evening as that drier air settles in across the state. So it's going to feel nice and pleasant. Look at the 9 o'clock time frame there, low 60s for areas to the north. But what a perfect Friday evening for just enjoying a relaxing evening on the patio out there tonight. As the sky clears out, we'll see that light north wind tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Temperatures around 50 to start the day. Some upper 40s, though, possible in areas to the north. If you check in with Matt tomorrow morning, we'll probably see some chilly spots there across our far northern areas as well. 4 o'clock tomorrow, though, big warm up coming, so that temperature will rebound quickly. Another sunny sky for tomorrow, beautiful day, and it's going to feel even more comfy. It won't be quite as humid. Looks like tomorrow night's lows will be in the mid 50s, but a nice Saturday night coming up. If you have a dinner date planned for Saturday evening or taking mom out, and it looks like some nice weather. 2 o'clock, 77. Highs tomorrow will be close to 80, and then we'll see some low 80s as we go into the day on Mother's Day. But the wind forecast tomorrow generally out of the northwest, as you can see, at 5 to 10 miles per hour. So there will be a little breeze out there for our Saturday forecast. But we stay dry through this weekend, and the next big thing, we have the first alert for rain and storms coming back by Monday. I think Sunday during the day you may start to notice a veil of cloud cover start to move overhead. However, the rain holds off until Monday during the day, but a chance of showers arrives. I'd plan for some daytime impacts, some rainfall, and then we could start to see some storms enter the mix late on Monday. And the guidance is picking up on perhaps a cluster of storms that tracks to the south of us, maybe some rumble of thunder across our area Monday night and into early on Tuesday. But I think the more severe weather, the way it's setting up right now, looks to stay south of us. But into Tuesday, we'll have some more wet weather, and then we'll catch a break on Wednesday. I can't promise Tuesday dry weather conditions. So if you're looking for a day next week, you have a big project going on, Wednesday's a day that looks mostly dry at this point. And actually into Thursday looks dry, but we'll see a chance for rain and storms coming back Thursday and into Friday of next week. And you know, for a while there, it seemed as though we couldn't get a drop of rain in some areas. And I know for folks here, especially in East Alabama, we were very thankful to finally get some rainfall with this recent system that moved through the area. But as we go to meteorologist Tania Michelle, and we go beyond the 7-day forecast, certainly a change in the pattern, Tania. This area that you're focused in on, we saw some rain last night, and of course some more rain possible next week.
Yeah, Wes. So although our drought monitor, the updated one from yesterday, is showing some abnormally dry conditions across parts along central Alabama, stretching from Cherokee down to Jefferson and including Shelby County and Talladega. The good news is that we did see lots of rain, and that's what this is not taking into account. So let's take a look here at just how much rainfall we possibly have seen. I know it's very messy, but it looks like there could have been close to 5 inches of rainfall in parts of Shelby County. That's where that flood warning was at. That flash flood warning was across parts of Jefferson and Shelby. 3 inches in parts of Tuscaloosa, in areas further to the west like Pickens County, and close to maybe about 5 and over 5 inches in Tallapoosa. So I can guarantee you that we probably won't be seeing any more abnormally dry conditions as we take a look at the updated drought monitor next Thursday. But beyond the 7-day, looking at May 18th through May 24th, it looks like the West Coast could be seeing more near average rainfall, below average for parts of Texas. And as we look across the central states, across the United States, above average rainfall, and that includes us here across Alabama. So between May 18th through May 24th, we could be seeing a lot more wet weather, and part of that wet weather will be around for us as we bring in next Monday, Tuesday, with a break on Wednesday like Wes was mentioning, but then more rain and storms possibly occurring for us by later next week, Thursday and Friday. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with your final check of your weather. You're watching First Alert Weather Extra.
Welcome back. We have some weather photos. More weather photos just continue to pour in. It was an incredibly stormy day yesterday, and this is something you don't see often around here, Tania. Mammatus clouds.
I know. That's from Karen Sparks.
Yeah.
And this one's from Josh Burnham, the sunset in Raglan.
And so, you know, you see those puffy, billowy clouds like that mammatus, that's often a symbol of a lot of turbulence in the atmosphere and very a good indicator you got severe storms nearby. You see that a lot out in the Great Plains, but also a lot of pictures like this. This
of the
is
hail.
It just covered the deck there. And Springville, one of the areas that was really hard hit with it. You know, we mentioned if you better check, make sure you don't have any hail damage because
That's
it was
true.
rough.
Yes, yes. Inspect your homes. And here's another one. This is in Westchester. There was more hail west there. You can see it falling down in her front yard, it looks like.
That's
and
from Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this one's from the Young family, the hail hitting their vehicle. And I mean, I'm sure there are some people that have some hail damage to their vehicles as well, too. So.
Yeah, that was one of the big concerns. And when you have a lot of lightning with that, you often have a storm that can produce quite a bit of hail damage around the area. But we've had the storms are out of here now.
Yes.
And we got a nice weekend. Let's enjoy it, right?
Because rain and storms return next week. We'll be telling you more about it tonight at 9 and 10.
See you
later.
tonight. Doesn't it?
They drew the Stallions and the Battlehawks. Okay, some talent. Nice. I'm ready. Let me know when you're ready. All right, in 3, 2. Hey there, everyone. First Alert meteorologist. Oh, wait a minute. Got it. Links 1.